So what is family life in San Antonio, Texas? So now that I'm a parent, I want to give you guys a raw footage, raw explanation of what it looks like as a young guy, as a young dad, a young husband here in San Antonio, Texas. I also want to give you the perspective as a kid growing up here, what family life is here in Texas. I also have my son here with me, my boy Marcus. I also wanted to bring him on the video today. This is my boy Marcus. We speak with him a lot in our household, Romanian. Sometimes he knows English. He doesn't even want to be on the video. I even asked him if he wants to. He's like, yeah, I want to be. And then he's like, his actions speak otherwise. So let's go ahead and hop into the video right now. So as I'm recording this video, my son is saying, Mitea gol, minia gol. What that means, minja in Romanian is ball, and gol obviously.
Muchas gracias, afición. Este para vosotros.
You know, goal for soccer, right? I play soccer all the time, and my boy wants me to play with him while I'm trying to record this video for you guys.
Para Messi, 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 immens Messi, encara 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 Messi, gol, 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 gol.
But I'll do my very best to get as much information for you guys who are watching out there, because I know it's important. I know the people that are watching are probably either single or are married, have children, maybe 1, 2, 3 kids. I don't know how many you guys have, but I know you guys are watching and want to know what family life is like here in San Antonio. So I'm gonna be all over the place. I'm gonna give you guys my childhood. I'm gonna give you guys my adulthood, my married life. I'm gonna give you guys recent activities we've done recently with the family. I'll give you guys recent childhood activities that I've done here. You know, San Antonio is a growing city, so I even remember moving from Chicago, Illinois back in 2005 here in San Antonio as a kid. I was 12 years old. Me and my sisters, I have 2 sisters. We were in the summer of 2005 in Romania, spent about a month there with my grandparents, visiting there, having a good time in the countryside where my dad was from, over there in that part of the region of the country in Romania. Meanwhile, my parents moved down here. Well, my parents had friends that lived in Chicago that moved down here in San Antonio, Texas, a while before we actually moved in 2005. So, you know, the friends, da iubitul. Hai mingea gol? Da? Okay, după, okay? După video asta, okay? That I promise. So he really wants me to play, which I'm going to, guys, so don't worry about it. I always play with my kid. I have a second kid on the way, a baby girl. So if you guys don't know, my boy Marcus, he's 2 years old right now, and my baby girl on the way. My wife and I are expecting a baby girl in the month of May in 2025. So praise God for that. I'm super grateful. You might hear some piano noises in the background. My boy's about to play some piano right now for us. But anyways, back to the story. So my parents have friends that kept inviting them. Hey, Cornell and Ronell are their names. Hey, come and visit, San Antonio. We'd love to have you guys. And they kept postponing. I don't know, maybe it's not a good time. And then they took the opportunity while my sisters and I were gone in Romania for about a month with my grandparents over there. Hey, you know what? Let's go visit San Antonio, right? And then little did we know, they bought a couple of properties in San Antonio back in 2005 when it was like much more affordable. I remember my parents bought their house around under 200K at that time, just under 200K, and a couple of residential lots in the neighborhood of Crown Ridge. Now the Crown Ridge subdivision has skyrocketed. You'll see prices like in the 500s all the way to $1 million plus. So it just depends on the various parts of the hills you guys decide to purchase, if you guys decide to purchase there. But nonetheless, they bought properties. They go back to Illinois, right? Chicago, Illinois. From there, they go to Romania, and they come and pick us up. And they tell us the good news for them, but bad news for me as a kid. I'm like, what? All of my friends are in Chicago. What have you done? You know, like, come on, guys. Like, I'm fine with it now, right? But as a kid, as a 12-year-old kid, my sister Haley was about 10 at the time, and my baby sister Brenda was 8 at the time. So you can imagine that age range how we felt as a kid, like, oh, we're moving to a brand new city, brand new state. I have nobody there. We don't know anybody, right? Being a kid there in the new school, oh man, that sucked. I can't even remember as a new kid. Everybody asked me the same questions. Where are you from? All this type of stuff. I should even have a shirt. My kid is playing piano. You know what? Let me see if I could. Let me do a quick break and see if I could record him. Let me turn the camera around. Ce faz iubito? Cânti la pian? Yeah? Cânti la pian, tati? Wow. Yeah, show everybody how you can play piano. Wow. Good job. Good job, Ibito. Yay! Good job. Uh-oh, Jaws. Yeah, so he loves to play instruments. So that's what I'm telling you guys, family life. So I want to give you guys kind of like a backstory with how everything happened, where I am at today, but I also want to take you guys and pull the curtain about what it was looking like here in the past. So obviously, you know, I'm in a new school. You know, at that age, you're kind of nervous. You don't have any friends. It kind of sucks. You know, obviously later, I had become friends with who I'm currently friends to this day. A couple friends from middle school and high school that I've really kept close, and I'm super grateful for those relationships. But back then, as a kid, you know, you're kind of nervous. You don't have any idea what to expect. So it was a little bit nerve-wracking. So if you guys are watching and have kids that are of the same attitude like I was, expect that. I'm sure you guys are already gonna expect that, but that's how it was for us. I want to take a quick break and let you guys know that if you guys are considering moving to San Antonio, Texas, go ahead and contact us below. All of our information is below. That way you guys can reach us through phone call, text message, email, Zoom links, doesn't really matter. We got your backs 24/7. Now, back to the video. So, you know, family life here as a kid to my parents at the time. I hope you guys can hear me good with this microphone as my boy plays the piano. But I remember having a great time. You know, I was in athletics. My dream as a kid was to become a professional soccer player. Long story short, in my younger adult years, in my early 20s, actually before real estate and a little bit after university years in college, I pursued playing Germany and in a little bit in Romania professionally. I didn't last long, but at least I did it. I played a little bit in the lower leagues, which I'm super grateful for. So that's where I'm getting at, guys. So growing up here in the San Antonio area, I was involved in club soccer a lot. After school, every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, we would have trainings with my club team. I went to Classics Elite Soccer here in the San Antonio area. There's a bunch of other soccer clubs. If you guys are parents that are watching and want to put your kids in athletics, it doesn't matter the sport. You guys can find a bunch of sports teams, volleyball teams, softball teams, baseball teams, soccer teams, anything that you guys want to do, even private tennis coaching. There's a bunch of that stuff out there. But for me, growing up, I was eating, living, breathing, eating soccer. So I dreamt of that as a kid. You know, even back in Chicago, I played for a team called Chicago Wind. Some of you guys who are watching that are from Chicago might know that. Even some of the locals here that are close to my age know about that club. Played for Frankie Klopas, who played on the Chicago Fire. He was one of our coaches. Bato Radoncic, another good coach, Yugoslavian coach back in Chicago. Really good coaches I had. So, you know, you definitely have a lot of sports to choose from and placing your kids in activities. And not to mention, since we're talking about sports, high school football here is like a religion. It's very competitive. There's a lot of good football teams, especially here in the San Antonio area, that are doing very well. You have the Northside ISD school district that does very well in football. You also have the Northeast ISD that does phenomenal in football. Reagan High School is a phenomenal school that has great athletics. So does other parts of the city as well, but those are, I'd say, like the top two in regards to athletics. But circling back to like my childhood years, I remember even my sisters, they picked up tennis. They were very, very talented, very good at tennis. So they were going in high school with their tennis, short tennis career. They were a little bit jealous of my consistency of playing club soccer outside of school. I wasn't allowed to play high school soccer. I only played my freshman and sophomore year because as I progressed in years, the academy that I was a part of said that because of the level that we're playing at, we're not allowed to compete in high school because of the other rules that they had there. They allowed football players to be on the soccer team, other players that didn't really know how to play, in my personal opinion. Now looking back, it made sense. Whereas the club soccer catered to specific players that are very talented in soccer. So that was kind of my experience when it came to that. So going back and looking back in my earlier days in high school, I wasn't allowed to play. And in a way, I kind of regret it because junior and senior year, I didn't play. I watched some of my friends play. But the benefit that I had is that I also traveled across the country, like to Florida, maybe the other cities like Houston, Dallas, for like higher tier, higher level academy games where you can get showcased your talent and potentially get scouted by other universities, other colleges, or maybe even professional clubs. So that was a dream of mine growing up, So that was life for me as a kid in San Antonio. But now that I'm a younger adult, have a family of my own, I truly enjoy San Antonio as a young dad, as a young husband to my wife. For those of you who are watching and are single, I know San Antonio can be very difficult in the dating scene. That I'll be honest, I actually have an agent, not an agent, but a colleague of mine who's an investor that a bunch of other agents know that shoot off-market deals to this particular client because they can purchase quickly. They were mentioning today, I even saw it on their Instagram, that they were going to Austin to potentially find a date because in San Antonio it's kind of boring, which I can see because San Antonio as a whole is more of a family lifestyle, laid back. It's not as fast paced as these bigger cities. Some of you which are probably watching from the Midwest, the western part of the country, the northeast part of the country, San Antonio is a very laid back city. I even remember, when I first met with my wife, I met her in Chicago, in a bigger city. For me, being in a Romanian community, involved with playing in the trumpet with the brass band, playing the piano sometimes, singing solos, singing with my group Amadeo. I love to participate in that, and I also wanted to marry a Romanian girl. So at the time growing up in our Romanian community, we were renting our church. We started very small. So praise God, now that we are in 2025, we actually had our own building inaugurated in 2015 in the Bernie stage area. So if you guys are watching and if you guys are Romanian and don't know where to go, feel free to reach out to us. That way we can get you situated with our church. We'd love to get you plugged in, be a part of our community. And even those of you who are not Romanian, Mexican, American, Black, doesn't really matter. We'd love to have you because we also have translation. And I'm also one of the members of translation department too. We rotate every week. So you might catch me, you might catch someone else. But in regards to the story back with my wife, I had to meet her long distance. So we were dating long distance. We would FaceTime each other. So it goes back to that same point I told you. I'm actually recording this video on Valentine's Day of 2025. And that girl, who's also a client and investor to a bunch of other colleagues like myself of realtors, she was mentioning that she did say that proximity is power. So she has to go outside of the city of San Antonio to a bigger city like Austin, maybe even go to Dallas, Houston, bigger cities for a better dating scene. But San Antonio is a little bit boring, and I'll admit to that. Unless like you're in a church like ours now where the youth have grown and you have a better selection to go from and choose from, I'd recommend that. But if you're kind of like in my earlier years where dating was kind of a little bit dry, if you will, then you'd have to explore other cities. So for the Romanian community, the bigger cities where a lot of like bigger youths are at the time for me, it was definitely Chicago area. You have Atlanta area. You have obviously the kind of California area, Sacramento, LA. You have some in Florida. It's just a lot of options to choose from in those areas. So I was grateful to meet my wife in the Chicago scene. And now we are happily married 5 years. This year, in August, will be 6 years. So I have my boy Marcus, as you guys saw, and I have my baby girl on the way. Her name is going to be Nava Lior, which means in Hebrew, beautiful light. So I'm really grateful for God to bring a girl into our lives. So I'm praying a safe delivery for my wife and I. But I'm loving San Antonio, guys. I mean, right now we're in winter still. We're in the month of February 2025. It is cold. Last week, it was so hot. It was like literally 90 degrees outside. So when it comes to, you know, having a good time outside with your family and your kids, it can vary. You know, sometimes, especially during the fall, winter time, even springtime, you'll have sometimes the experience to have 4 seasons in one day. It could be winter in the morning and it could get to like summertime at noon. I remember there's a particular playoff game I had in high school. It was pouring rain, thunderstorm. I thought the game was gonna cancel, but our game was in the afternoon. All right, so I thought our game was gonna get suspended or postponed, but it was so hot and humid. I was so sticky, sweaty. That day, I will never forget it. We won that game, I remember, but I will never forget the weather that day. It was crazy. So whenever you decide to move to San Antonio, keep in mind the weather can be bipolar. We're approaching the springtime, and springtime here in San Antonio is kind of crazy for those of you who have allergies. Why do I say that? Because there's going to be a lot of pollen in the air. There's going to be that green substance that can cover all the cars, cover the rooftops on the houses. You'll notice it. So it can be very bad. Congestion, the eyes are like shut, red, no, like not bloody nose, but a stuffy nose. So it can, and also your kids, I have no idea. So there's definitely allergy treatments you guys can definitely get at HEB, CVS Pharmacy, Walgreens, all that stuff. So it's available out there. The thing, I think it's called cedar allergies that we experience here in San Antonio. But winter time is awesome here. We get mild winters. We just experienced like this little much snow for like a day, not like even half a day, and it melted like in the afternoon. So 4 or 5 years ago, around 2020, 2021, we did have snow for like a week or two. So that was kind of cool. We did have the Snowmageddon where electricity and power went out for those of us who did have that experience. But looking back, it was pretty cool, you know, so that we had that. So you rarely get snow here in San Antonio, but you'll have mild winters. You can't really do much outdoors if it's kind of like freezing temperatures. I mean, you could, but that's up to you. You know, if you're like me, you guys like to chill at the house, cook with the wife, maybe have a barbecue outside on your patio. If you're like me, we just like to chill and hang out, you know, have friends over, have family over. That's what we kind of like to do. But now that we're approaching spring and summertime can get pretty hot. So it can get difficult going out there. You can do a lot of tubing in the rivers. You can do kayaking on the lakes. You can go boating if you want, depending on the lakes. I know Bernie Lake is only electric motors if you have like smaller boats. You can't bring those like big boats or jet skis over there. I know Canyon Lake has a lot of jet skiing. You can bring boats there. You can bring gas boats. You can bring electric boats. Lake Medina, same, but it's lower on the lake over there in Lake Medina because of the dry summers that we've had recently. And the farmers on the south side of the lake, they've been using the water for their crops, so therefore the levels of the water have been going down. So I'm really praying for a healthier year of lake water rising in the San Antonio area. We have also the Calaveras Lake down south, Lake Bronick down south, great for fishing. Fishing all throughout. You can get largemouth bass, catfish, I think even red drum on the Calaveras Lake and Lake Bronick. That's pretty cool. But for those of you who like to travel like my family, we love to hit up the coast every summer in Corpus Christi and Port Aransas. So you have a bunch of beaches you can choose from. The drive is about 2.5 hour drive from San Antonio. I love San Antonio for many reasons, because if you like to visit like big cities and you love to travel within your state, or just love to travel in general like my family does, Houston is a couple hours east, like 3 hours east, about 3.5 as well to downtown if you want to explore more stuff. We have a close family friends there that we like to visit. Also a Romanian church community as well that we love to participate in every time we go visit. We also have a Dallas, which is about 4 or 5 hour drive north on, I think it's I-30, no, that's Austin. It's I-35. And then Austin is about an hour and a half drive, depending on where you live in San Antonio, to drive to the downtown area. I think it's called Lake Travis over there. There's a beautiful lake. You have a huge river right next to the downtown area that a lot of people love to kayak. It's super, super beautiful there as well. If you guys want to just go out there and hang out for a weekend, maybe book a hotel, book an Airbnb. We've done that before. It's an amazing experience, and then you can come back. It's like weekend getaways. It's pretty frequent happening in our family, and we absolutely love it. So I absolutely love living here in San Antonio, Texas. I'm excited as my kids grow, the opportunities we have to put them in sports. I can't wait to see that. And another thing, maybe my parents are watching, and I'll never forget this. Like my dad's background, he came to America not knowing English, started his own business within 9 months, not knowing the English language, the hardwood floor business. He installed people's floors for a living. And I remember even coming here to Texas. He was such a hard worker, and I remember there were times even after school and after my dad finished work, he would be beat up, like tired, super tired. And I'll never forget this. For those of you who are dads out there, it's so important for you to be in your child's life. I've seen that in my dad, and I'm so grateful for you, Tata. I love you. And I'm so grateful that no matter how tired you were, sanding, refinishing those floors, installing hardwood floors, it can be very tiring and like beating your body up. He was always there. He was always there for every practice, every training session. No matter how tired he was, he didn't even have time to go home to take a shower. I mean, he obviously had time to go home and pick me up, obviously. But sometimes because of traffic and I had to be there on time, I wanted to prove to the coach that, hey, I was worthy to go be on the starting lineup, right? So I have to be there on time, maybe even a little bit early, do well. And my dad was always there. My dad was always there, even maybe with like dust on himself, taking me with his truck, going to training sessions. I'll never forget that. And for those of you who are dads out there, I'm talking to you specifically, be there for your children's lives. I don't care if you have a son or daughter. If you're telling them that you're gonna be there, be there. And I want to do that to my children. He's only 2, my boy Marcus. My daughter's on the way, and however many other kids God gives us and blesses us with, I want to be there for every single one of them. If they decide to play football, tennis, soccer, doesn't really matter. If they don't like sports at all, but they're great at singing, they're great at playing piano, I want to be there to every piano recital. I want to be there to everything that they find dear to them, to their lives. I want to be a part of it. And I love San Antonio, and I'm so grateful that God placed us here through my parents. And growing up here was a blast. I enjoyed it. I even enjoy the fruits of the city's labor in building complexes and outdoor malls and outdoor spaces for us to enjoy. For example, the Rim Shopping Center. That used to be nothing. That used to be a forest. I even remember a Bass Pro Shop sign at the very beginning of the forest, hey, coming soon. I forgot when, I think it was 2005, 2006, 2007. Then there was the Palladium IMAX movie theater, and then all of a sudden, it is what it is now. So I know San Antonio from like inside and out. So as a kid, I grew up here. And if you guys are deciding to move to San Antonio, hit us up. We'll be glad to serve you guys from start to finish. We'll be glad to serve you guys from start to finish. I know how it is to shop around with other people that are from out of state that are looking to move to San Antonio. And even if you're in San Antonio looking to move elsewhere and you decide to sell your property and move somewhere else, hit us up. We'll be glad to help you guys sell your property, and we'll be glad to help you guys buy your next property. So it doesn't really matter where you guys are at in life. Doesn't matter if you're young, middle-aged, older, doesn't really matter. We serve all age groups. We serve all people who are looking to move to San Antonio, even sell. And if that's you, go ahead and contact us below. Our phone number, our email, our Zoom link is below. You can hit us up however you want, and we absolutely love it. We deal with people just like you every single day. Phone call, text, email, Zoom calls, doesn't really matter. We got your backs 24/7. So if you guys are still watching this video, I mean, I really enjoy San Antonio. I enjoy the church I'm at. I cannot tell you how important church is in my life. I'm a born again believer in Jesus Christ, and I just love to serve the Lord in the talents that I've learned as a kid. You know, I learned trumpet at the age of 9 back in Chicago, learned the piano from a Russian lady back in Chicago, and over the years I've just kept playing. You know, my sisters play the piano and flute, but they just kind of gave up on it. I'm sure they can probably pick it up again if they really wanted to, but they're not as active as I am. And Mama and Tata, if you're watching, you know, thank you so much for putting us in music ever since we were kids. I truly enjoy it, you know, and there are days, you know, when you're down and out, and, you know, music is a great place to find healing, especially worship music. And I just love to go to the piano and play and just be a part of it and just have that connection with the Lord and sing to Him praises as loud as I can by myself or even with my family, my wife here with me. So I just enjoy the Romanian church that I'm a part of. It's called Bethany Romanian Church. If you guys ever want to visit, I welcome you guys with open arms. I'd love to have you guys out there with us. It's a great church to be. Before that, we actually attended Cornerstone Church growing up with where Pastor John Hagee and Matthew Hagee are pastoring there. It's over there on 1604 and Stone Oak Parkway. And it's a great church to be at. I actually got baptized there at 15 years old. Tomorrow will be February 15th, and I got baptized February 15th, 2009. And I'm so grateful I received the Lord of back then. You know, for those of you who are watching and don't know the Lord, it's you owe yourself to allow Him to work in your life, allow Him to come into your life and just accept Him. You know, I don't want to shove religion down your throat, and it's not even religion, it's a relationship. But anyways, I wanted to extend that invite to you guys, whether it's Bernie's stage over there with Bethany Romanian Pentecostal Church or Cornerstone Church. There's also a bunch of other great churches here in town. CBC, Community Bible Church on 1604, a little bit further down. Stone Oak, great church also. It's just up to you guys. Get plugged in. For those of you who are in town and already plugged in, great. I'm so grateful and glad you guys are. But for those of you who are moving to San Antonio and want to be plugged in, hit us up. Let me know. I'd love to point you guys out in the right direction. And I would love for you guys to attend even a service at our church, you know, see what it's like. We do have youth nights every last Sunday of the month, which will be held in English. We also have Christmas concerts at the beginning of December with the brass band, with other guest bands that were involved from Arizona, Phoenix, from Houston, from Dallas, maybe Chicago as well, that come down here. And we are all in one band, and we play for the entire church, but also play for the Lord, right? So, and a couple of Sundays after, we'll have like our own Christmas concert with our own programs like the choir, the girls choir, the youth choir, the brass band, just a bunch of variations that we can put in the program that I would love to invite you guys to and for future events. But I just really love living life here in San Antonio. life here is great. It can be hot in summertime. Sometimes you'll have nothing to do because it's scorching hot outside. You've been to the SeaWorlds, you've been to Six Flags, but you kind of probably are sick of it and just want to hang out at home. Sometimes it kind of get boring, I'll be honest, but it is what it is. But overall, I love San Antonio. It's a great place to raise your kids. It's a great place to grow old and just chill and kick back and relax, you know. So I love San Antonio, and if you guys are considering moving to San Antonio, hit us up. Go ahead and contact us below. Don't forget to give me one of these. Go ahead and like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next video.